Mother, mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Yeah, Father, Father, we don't need to escalate. War is not the answer. Only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Oh, well, picket lines, and picket signs. Don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me so you can see. Ooh, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. I tell you what's going on. Ooh. Hey guys, so 5150 here. Trying to keep up with Marvin Gaye. Can't do it. He's gone someplace that we can't get to right now anyway. The legendary Marvin Gaye. Gone way before his time under some pretty tragic circumstances. I'm telling you, man. Great writer, though. Great writer, great vocalist. Motown. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Like this good stuff here. Oh, by the way, yes, that is a heart, because I heart you guys. I am saying and doing these things to antagonize some of my trolls that I seem to be picking up, which means I matter. If I'm a person of interest to the Federal Reserve and the Treasury and I have my trolls, that means I am making a difference and having an impact, which is very important. All right, so you guys are on the Silver 5150 channel, a place where pie in the sky positivity is a constant and irrational exuberance runs rampant. If you don't like it, there's a bunch of other channels out there. I don't know what to tell you. I'm Silver 5150 and asking you as always, if you dig this kind of content, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Okay? Spending some time with our Valcambi, 1 gram squares. Let's see how close we can get in before the camera cracks up. Ooh. Man, that is nice. Those are nice. I couldn't tell you how many are here. All I know is I keep them in my little pouch here, so I can, walk up in a tavern and get information or get a steak or get a flag and a veil or something. Ooh. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get on with the show because this is going to be quite a bit to cover today. All right. I just thought about it. Subscribers are starting to come back to my channel. For a while, I was having a little bit of a dry spell there. And, maybe they heard about the free silver that's coming up. The silver, the giveaways. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. But it's okay. It's okay. Whatever it takes to bring awareness and to clear those shelves where we all win, right? That's the whole point. Now, let's dissect that for a second. For the sake of the mother of all shopping sprees, right? If you're stacking to protect your hard-earned wealth. And more accurately, you're freezing the value of your effort and your energy in an armored capsule impervious and immune to the ravages of inflation and even time. But, oh man, it's so nice. If we manage to clear the shelves when we're shopping, and I mean all of them, be it retail, local coin shops, mints, and the COMEX or Commodities Exchange as it's called, it means that silver will finally be where it belongs, and that's in the hands of the people. You guys realize that, right? That all the monetary assets created by God were meant to be in the hands of free people, ever circulating, ever exchanging, ever motivating, inspiring us to produce better and better goods and services. We're supposed to be moving forward with this stuff. It's supposed to inspire us to move forward. It was never meant to be sitting on shelves collecting dust, acting as derivative vehicles, or even a strategic stockpile for that matter. In fact, did you know that in a freely trading world with gold and silver as money, price increases would occur about as fast as it takes the Leaning Tower of Pizza to lean? Hardly at all. It would be a snail's pace. Inflation would, be almost, unnoticeable. But you know what? We're here for more than inflation. We're here for more than that. Being a stacker means that you have now become aware, okay, of the distortions like wealth disparity and overreaching runaway governments. And that's a result of the limiters being removed in the system. Somewhere out there, because those limiters have been removed, there's a boatload of undistorted, clean, transforming, purchasing power, baby. I'm telling you, and it's there. It's right for the picking. Found it! That's something I imagine Ron Paul saying as he holds up a gold eagle in one hand and a silver kangaroo in the other. Ron Paul, man, he is like the libertarian's libertarian. He don't mess around, right? But yeah, he's been fighting the fight for a long time. And he's one of these guys who's been stacking since 1971, right before the price of silver went up to, I don't know, 100 and something from 35, and then on the way to $950 by 1980. All right? But, look, all the global treasures have been minted already. All across the globe, we've had treasures minted, talking about these coins, talking about all the stuff that's been minted. Okay? And for generations, they've been there. And they've been there to bring us fair value for our effort and energy. They're already minted. They're ready to go. All we have to do is secure them. You catch that, guys? Those coins and all that stuff that's sitting on the shelves, and I know sometimes get pricey, and I know that, but it's just like hanging fruit. It's right there. It's there for us to pick. That fair value and that energy and that wealth is ready to go. All we have to do is secure it, whether it be as individuals or as a society. It doesn't matter. We need to secure that silver so that the power will be in the hands of the people. I know I sound like an activist, and if something happens to me and you don't hear from me for a while, you know why. Okay? All right, let's get on to our subject today. We're going to talk about the mother of all shopping sprees. Now, a few months ago, I depicted a future scenario where our good friend and fellow contributor and stacker, Fred Gar, that's Fred Gar, check him out on YouTube if you haven't, Fred Gar, went into a distressed Cadillac dealership and purchased a brand new Escalade ESV through the gray market. Remember what I was saying yesterday about the gray market now. And he traded 40 ounces of silver in a backroom deal with the site manager there, okay, in that fictional account. Okay, backroom deals, gray market. Under the table, gray market. Always. Well, anyways, the manager tried to hit Fred up for about 50 ounces of silver, right? Fred was brandishing. He had a bunch of 10-ounce bars that day with him at the dealership. But Fred, knowing the demand for silver that particular day, was like, oh, heck no. I'll do 40 ounces, no more. All right, so he actually negotiated that. So during negotiations with the site manager, who was well aware of the rabid silver fever that was gripping the planet by then, he had utilized his handheld Sigma verifier as well as his SGOT XL Magnaslide to authenticate the purity of the bars. Now remember, guys, when the Mandalorian was paid metal for capturing Baby Yoda in the Mandalorian show, if you've seen that? Yeah, it's kind of like that. You walk in there with your bars and you're like, clunk, and I want this. So, by the way, if you guys don't know who SGOT is, that is my call sign for the Silver Game of Thrones channel on YouTube, Silver Game of Thrones, the builder of the Magna Slides that we're talking about. He sells them right here in the community as well as everywhere else. As soon as he can make them, he tries to sell them. I got mine. I really enjoy it, and this thing works like a charm. It's actually fun to use. So, if you haven't checked that out, check him out and see if he's got any Magna Slides if you want to be able to test your own coins and bars. He's got, the big ones, the XLs. Test your bars too. All right. So anyway, in the end, Fred got the precise $80,000 Escalade he wanted for 4 10-ounce silver bars. All right. Now, mind you, this is a fictional account, but we're talking about the mother of all shopping sprees. Okay, with those bars having an implied value of those bars of $20,000 a piece, right? 4 10-ounce bars, $80,000 Escalade, according to the sticker price. So an implied value of $20,000 a piece for those bars, or $2,000 per ounce of silver. Now that sounds crazy, right? But see, one of the inflationary mistakes that a lot of Austrian economists make is that the value per value offset for each monetary asset, in this case dollars and silver ounces, has a static measure over time, but it actually doesn't. Now, if that offset were static, we'd be able to get a Morgan silver dollar right now for $1.25, right? It'd be like buck to buck, but $1.25, you got to pay the premiums, Like, look, you were able to get that back in 1917 when the first $1 bills came out, all right? The reason this isn't the case now is because of inflation. You can't get that same Morgan for $1.25. Inflation has kicked in. Long ago, governments figured out that the more they promised to their voters, the easier they can get elected or reelected. The only problem was that as the population grew, the money supply needed to grow. And, of course, gold and silver weren't fit for this because they are finite, so they were replaced by the Federal Reserve note, which is a unit of account. I wouldn't call it money, but it's a unit of account. It's cash, but it has no actual limit, so it becomes ravaged by inflation. Something that is not finite, something that is not precious, something that is not limited, can easily become ravaged by inflation when it is trying to serve as money. Try to get in here close again. All right. A good example of this inflation is that same Morgan dollar, the silver Morgan dollar, costing $25 today. If you want to go on Amex and get it, JM Bullion, you want to get it, or that's a 20 times dollar increase from that dollar start price of $1.25 in 1917. So $25 a day versus 97 years ago, or 93 years ago, when it was $1.25. So in about 100 years almost, we have a 20 times dollar increase for that same Morgan silver dollar. So that's inflation. That's how it works. Right? But that goes for everything. Now, my point is that before Fred even showed up at the dealership, this is why the dollar to silver offset doesn't work, statically. Before he even got to the dealership had already taken heavy losses from either a lack of patronage meaning customers, or deteriorating dollar, or both. Because, see, businesses could mark their prices up. They could mark their prices up higher on their goods and services to offset the inflation, but they would run the risk of scaring people off when they had way too many zeros locked in their prices. People would see that and be like, nope, sorry, nope, too much for me. Now, see, a smarter thing to do would be for them to barter with another company, another entity, right? That could guarantee another good or service that would have way more intrinsic value than rapidly fading dollars at that time. By then, everybody will know what the heck silver is. It's not going to be any mystery, all right? Mainly because it'll be talked about and taught as if it were some mythical creature, rarely seen, but having a presence larger than life. It's a silver thing. Yes, everybody's talking about it, but nobody's actually seen it. Well, maybe I don't know. But anyway, dealerships, they could wait for someone or some group to do fleet level bargaining to try to help them out, but the chances would be far and few in between. They couldn't get it. Couldn't get enough business to stay in business. They'd be desperate. So in walks Fred with his binder of chupacabras, Bigfoots, or Nessies. Take your pick. These are mythical creatures, but they're actually 10-ounce silver bars, man. Not seen since the great retail wipeout of 2021. The manager knows what they are. Okay? When you go to these places, and we're going to be here, approaching the silver age, and silver's going to have a higher valuation simply because of its rarity and the desire for it, people are going to know what the heck silver coins and bars of. It's just regular people. They're going to know what they are. Okay? So there was no way when Fred walked in there with those silver bars, that manager was letting him get the heck out of there without buying a car. Okay? Now remember, Fred haggled him down a 10-ounce silver bar from 5 silver bars to 4. So a 10-ounce savings on Fred's part because he knew how to negotiate. Now, if you believe my story is far-fetched, consider this. Talking about this fictional account of Fred buying a car. Right now, there are scores of unsold new vehicles around the globe, not just in the United States. So I've got this story. Check out this latest story from the Wall Street Journal. I'll leave a link down in the description below for it. You guys check it out, and see, and it's just one story. There's a bunch of them out there. But just think, guys, that of all the economic elemental breakdowns that are coming into an inflection point for silver, all these things that are coming to an inflection point with silver's increasing price, okay? Think of all the things. A dying 50-year-old world reserve currency that's actually picking up speed as it dies, all right? It's actually picking up speed. The dollar is dying faster. Now, we look at the dollar index and say, oh, it's down to 93 today. It's down to 95. No, that's going to bobble around and move because you're going to manipulate that. But trust me, when you go to the gas station and gas is $5 again, or you go to the store and milk is $7 a gallon again, or wherever you're at in the world, if there's like a 100% increase in, a cheeseburger or, Big Mac, the Big Mac index, remember that? All right? You'll know that the dollar's picking up speed, and on his way out as a world's reserve currency. Now, by comparison, 35 years is a good long time for an unbacked world reserve currency. But we're talking about 50 years of the dollar now, okay? So the dollar, it's just basically hanging on life support, and they're doing everything they can to keep it going, okay? Now, here's where we start to have a little fun. Now, I want you to imagine every industry, all right? Travel and leisure, medical, academia, durable goods, and real estate. Academia, of course, means, learning institutions of certain types, Stanford, Yale, Oxford, and Harvard, and, all these, Purdue. These fancy colleges, being up for grabs because they're desperate for, income and capital. All right. The medical industry, hospitals, you need procedures. We were talking yesterday about getting your loved ones to a place where they needed like life-saving surgery or some kind of surgery. And, the white system's not working very well. The white market's not working very well. You got to use the gray market and go in there with your precious metal, and maybe take a flight to Thailand, get something done you couldn't get in the United States because it's either illegal or it's not available. All right. Durable goods, anything that you use, clothes, shoes, paper products, chemical products, all these stuff that are durable goods that last, that are not food, but they're things that you use to survive. Okay. That would be up for grabs, on various websites, on, areas, retail stores, whatever's left in the shops. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. Have you been walking through the retail stores lately? Like the big box stores, Lowe's and Walmart, and even some of the grocery stores. And you notice something you haven't been seeing until here recently. Something that's been occurring every time I've gone into a department store here in the last like 2 or 3 months. Well, 2 months. There's been big empty spaces on the shelves. Just random stuff. Gatorade. Toilet paper's actually full. We know why that is. But, towels. I don't know. Certain, produce. Bath supplies. Just the big empty gaps on these shelves. Whereas before, these places used to be stocked pretty well. Now, I have a couple of theories on this, and I'm going to expand real quick. I think that we have an issue with credit right now. They're not telling us that credit is in trouble. Back in April, I made a video called Hurry and Get Your Big Ticket Items Before the Credit System Freezes. Well, it didn't freeze, but it sure as heck broke. Something broke in the credit system, and I noticed that my interest rates had come down without any prompting by me, and that certain things were either hard to get or, what have you. There was something going on in the credit system, especially with the banking. And the credit system is tied directly to the just-in-time delivery system, guys. And if you don't know what the just-in-time delivery system is, it's basically the trucking industry paired with the manufacturing output and getting that stuff to the shelves. Credit runs all that, whether it's the manufacturing portion of it, whether it's the transportation index that gets the stuff to your shelves, and even the processing and moving of those items once they're in the stores. You taking them home, your chances are you're going to be using credit to do that. I think the credit system is strained and they're trying to hide it from us, but it's starting to manifest itself in these gaps and holes and spaces you see in these department stores. All right. Just wanted to expand on that. Right, but just imagine if all of those industries that I just talked about, whether it's real estate, durable goods, academia, medical, travel and leisure, were all in the same boat as the auto industry, severely distressed, all while simultaneously being aware of and desperate of and desirous for hard money. Talking about silver. I keep saying silver, but I mean gold too. But just you wait, man. Just you wait. Just you silver bugs wait. Just your gold bugs wait. Just you wait until people see how much gold there actually is compared to silver. I mean, they'll both be available and they'll both have tremendous purchasing power under conditions I laid out. But all of the goods and services available out there, it'll be a game of transactions at one point. I'm talking about when speed really picks up. And I'm not saying gold is bad. I'm just saying that, you use a gold coin to buy something if you can't redeem it for whatever currency's out there. And, it's a 1 ounce coin. You better make it count. You better be trying to buy a car or, whatever. Big ticket item you can get because you've got the one transaction with the gold. So, the game of transactions says, how many transactions does a person that spent $2,000 on silver have on a person that spent $2,000 on gold? Now, you have to hope that our silver bug was able to buy 100 silver rounds instead of a 100 ounce bar, because he's going to be in the same boat as the guy with the 1 ounce coin, because you got the 100 to 1 gold to silver ratio. But look, remember what I said in the past about when the mother of all shopping sprees actually takes off. It's going to be so violent, guys. I mean, it's going to be violent. You're going to see, especially in real estate, you're going to start poking around at, realtors.com or, Sotheby's or Coldwell Banker, and you're going to see all of these premium properties up for sale. Commercial properties are going to be what's responsible for bringing down the residential properties. Commercial real estate right now is hurting so bad. Look around your towns. You see all these new buildings going up. You see some of the old buildings that were still there, but they're empty. And a lot of them are empty, and they're not about to be filled anytime soon, especially with this, Corona COVID thing. Oh man, I'm probably going to get blocked again. Anyway, so, especially the big ticket items like the houses stuff, you're going to see a lot of that, either on the web or either in books that are, around your town. Like if you have those homes and land books that, you can find at the grocery store for free, those books are going to be like phone books. They're going to be filled with regular properties and premium properties. Entry-level properties will probably do pretty good because people are not going to mind spending that kind of money or that kind of capital on, an entry-level property. But when you start to get into the middle ones and to the premium ones, people that had them are going to try to dump them because they're getting killed on taxes. Yes, taxes are definitely going to be a problem when the governments get desperate. But it's just going to create a glut of houses, like what? A glut of cars in the auto industry. So that industry is going to be there. All right? So, it's going to be violent. When the housing, things going on, you're going to have certain retail sales. And these will be things that you don't necessarily need, like the clothes and the shoes and, things that make our life comfortable and convenient, but not things we need. Now, stuff like gas and food and, medicine, that's not going to necessarily be deflated in price. But the other things that I mentioned, fancy educations, medical treatment, real estate, cars, the big ticket items, all this stuff, that's definitely going to be depressed in price. And you can see, like in a lot of clothing stores like Kohl's and H&M, where they're having sale on top of sale and then discounts, and then you can add double up in the coupons and all this stuff, because they're trying to get the stuff moving, because credit's freezing up and activity slowing down. People not buying stuff right now because of the thing we're dealing with. People are either not working, or they don't have the income, or that $1,200 stimulus that was supposed to last them 8 months is gone. Can you believe that? They're dragging their feet on the stimulus, by the way. Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer and those guys are, we need to talk about it some more. Well, of course you need to talk about it some more, because you guys make like $4 billion a year. But that's okay. We'll be okay. We're just out here waiting on you, which we should not be waiting on government. What we should be doing is stacking, because if we stack, the more independent we'll be and free of government, especially at a time when they're not doing so hot. We can break away from them. That's the whole purpose. All right. Back to my point. All right. So, this is going to be a violent, depression. It's going to be a violent shopping spree, a period when everything starts to go on fire sale. Okay. It's going to be like the ultimate fire sale. And just think, we're going to have to start utilizing all the methods we developed, helping each other shop for good deals on metals. We're going to have to turn those skills towards everything else. You're going to be like, hey, Aussie Coin Girl, do they still have that house, in Melbourne for, 5 kilos of silver? And she's going to be like, yes, they do. And he'll be like, okay, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to get it, because I've got 5, kilo kooks. I want to buy that house. 49 is going to be like, hey, man, we've got a nice Ford over here. Somebody's selling it for like, 5 ounces and stuff. I already got 5 cars, so I don't need it. But, you were looking for one. And so we got one. And it just, it all depends on what the items are going to be. If you see something online, say, hey, Amazon right now, they're selling, supplements and vitamins and stuff. They've got like a 90% off coupon. I've already got plenty. I've already used a coupon. I can't use it. Creo, here, this is for Creo, the Lone Traveler. Here, you use this. And we'll be back and forth on the comments and the messages, and possibly emailing each other by that time, because it's going to be important to stay in closer contact, just to keep track of all the things that are coming available. Now, we're going to get everything we need, and we're going to have plenty of silver left over, plenty of silver and gold left over. But it's beating that initial rush that comes out and tries to compete with us with whatever they got, whether it be dollars or, whatever, cryptos, cryptocurrencies. I don't know. They'll probably be able to work just as well as the gold and silver, but it requires electronics, and all this stuff. And so for you guys that are out there in that, I'm glad that's working for you. I hope it continues working for you. I don't mind purchasing side by side with you, even though it will be a race to get all the stuff you need that you don't have now. And that's one of the things I try to make, the point I try to make about stacking and about prepping, is that you basically think about the skills you have, you think about the things you want, and then whatever else you can't cover, whether it be, security, whether it be, mechanical stuff, whether it be handyman stuff, any of this stuff here, that's what your silver's for, to fill those gaps and find yourself what? The independent contractors that are going to be willing and open to working for silver, for giving you their service for silver or gold. All right, and that's what the metal is going to be for, to fill in those gaps, and then to get to the other side and have a nice savings and all that stuff. Okay. All right. So whereas before we were using fiat currencies as money to buy precious metals, we'll be using precious metals as the money they are, and we're always meant to be, to buy everything else at that point. See, we're buying money right now to use as money later. Isn't that great? And we're buying money, I think, at a discount to use as money later. Freaking awesome. All right. So businesses of all kinds, by the way, talking about the use of gold and silver physically in the market, businesses of all kinds will have Sigma verifiers and Magna slides waiting in secret back rooms all over the place. Gray market. Okay. And we'll be like Fred Garr, with a binder or a briefcase filled with the metallic means to enrich our lives however we want. All right, guys? All right. Now, I wasn't able to get it all in. I got some stuff I got to do today, but I hope you get the general gist. All right? It's just, I just need you to understand why it's so important, despite the price and all that stuff, hold your nose, just do the math, figure out what you can get away with, and then purchase, accumulate. All right? It's important to grab what you can while it's available. Have a strategy. Silver Game of Thrones, he said, have a strategy. Absolutely. Develop your own strategy. But accumulate. Because when the time comes, you'll be trying to scramble for everything you need almost all at once. And there won't be time for much else. All right? Talking about the other goods and services. There won't be time for much else because the price of silver would have been flipped by then. So including buying precious metals, there won't be time for that because you should have gotten everything you need by then. All right, let the slow pokes at that point go after it. Let them go after the $600 silver, the $700 silver, or the $2,000 implied ounce, dollar per ounce implied silver. All right, so that's our game. Our game is to accumulate as much precious metals as we can while nobody gives a rip. All right, to be that very, very small percentage, like the 0.0004% of the globe's population that's accumulating the precious metals. If we overaccumulate, it's okay. Because at that point, you can live as a quiet philanthropist, and, blessing people and going around and propping up institutions that you feel close to and, supporting your charities and all that stuff if you overstack, which is an oxymoron in and of itself. So I guess that's what I'm telling you. Try to overstack. Whatever you think your goal is, try to shoot over it. Try to get as much as you can. Help me clear the shelves. Let's clear the shelves. Let's control that market, gold and silver. The central banks are going to have their gold. But let's try to, silver for the people. Let's do it. Silver for the people. And then, I'm not saying we're going to be in a position to make decisions, but we certainly will be able to influence the new economy as it starts to come around. All right, guys? So I'm going to go ahead and knock off there. I'm going to go and work on my apartment and stuff. I'm going to get ready for the show tomorrow. I have no idea what's going to happen in the markets because, today, the markets real quick, everything got smacked down. Stocks got smacked down. The dollar was up a little bit, so I think that has some influence on it. But then they really socked it to precious metals. If you guys saw, gold was down. It closed just below 1,800 to 1,790 something. So I hope if you're in the mind to buy gold, you did it today. I don't think there'll be another smackdown tomorrow. I think it'll be flat. But then silver got down below that critical point of 1980, actually the 1950s, almost 1940, I think. So that would also imply that you should probably try to buy some silver, either tonight or tomorrow, if you have the means to do so. Yeah, man, these things are happening. They're dynamic. We're going to go ahead and get ready for the show tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow evening, I think I'm going to put together something that's simply going to be a short look ahead to see what we can expect next week. And then get on with the weekend and try to finish up setting up my apartment and stuff. All right, guys, look, I'm Silver5150 telling you that your stack is not whack and that just 10 ounces to your name keeps you 99% ahead of the game. Love you guys. I do. Even my trolls out there. I love you guys because you know what? You make me feel like I'm getting something done. I'll see you guys in the morning update. It is 4 9's Fine says. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.